we never backing down. Thank you for being here. Now, we are here today to deliver a vociferous no to both the president and those horrible executive orders. They're bad for America. They're bad for humanity. They're bad for our national security, and they are against everything that is American. The orders make us less humanitarian, less safe, and less American. Now, let me say a few things here. First, let me say this. I have talked to Secretary Kelly. I have told him in no uncertain terms that he has a moral obligation to go to the president and tell him to rescind these orders. How many of you were at Kennedy yesterday? Because of your action, he promised me that the 42 who are detained and under court order to be released will be released to the United States and to freedom shortly. So we've made progress for 42. We have to make progress for thousands and tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands more. Now, today I had a press conference in my office. You know I have Sunday press conferences. I had two beautiful Syrian families. Two beautiful Syrian families. You know what Donald Trump wants us to believe? He wants us to believe that all immigrants are terrorists and criminals. We know that immigrants are the future, the hope, and the promise of America. So let me just tell you, one of these immigrants he just got his refugee status on January 5th, Mohammed Hamid. Mohammed Hamid was a translator for our soldiers for 10 years. He now has, and his family had, death threats for doing that. He was released on January 5th. Had Donald Trump's horrible, vicious, and nasty executive order been issued January 1st, he might not be alive today. Then let me tell you about another beautiful family. Parents, children, and grandchildren. Or grandparents, children, whatever, 3 generations. The grandparents are Americans. They live in the Bronx. Mr. Elias has a little reupholstery business. Like so many immigrants, he's creating jobs and working for America. But his daughter and son-in-law and their 4 beautiful grandchildren were being persecuted in Syria. In fact, 2 suicide bombers blew themselves up in front of their home. For 5 years, this is an American citizen, Mr. Elias and his wife. They've tried to get their children and grandchildren here to freedom. They were just released last week. Had this executive order come out 2 weeks earlier, they too might be dead. So what we're talking about here is life and death for so many people. What we're talking about here is that beautiful lady in the harbor and what America is all about. What we're talking about here is what our religious teachings teach us. Exodus 22. Exodus, which admonishes us not to wrong or oppress a stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. Matthew 25, the New Testament. I was hungry, and you gave me something to eat. I was a stranger, and you invited me in. And finally, Pope Francis, the great Pope Francis, here's what he said. He asked us to confront the reality of those who have been displaced by force with effective projects and new approaches in order to protect their dignity. And I want to tell you something that's not known as I conclude. My middle name is Ellis, Charles Ellis Schumer. I was named after Uncle Ellis, who was named after Ellis Island. I named my daughter's middle name Emma after Emma Lazarus. And what she said 100 years ago that's emblazoned on that beautiful statue is every bit as true today. It's what America has always been, is now, and will always be, despite what Donald Trump tries to do. This is important. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to be free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door. Are we gonna win this fight? Are we not gonna let up till we win? I will not rest until these horrible orders are repealed.